Well,
And then this is just Hawaiian Punch.
Likely story.
Mm-hmm.
definitely it's pure Hawaiian Punch, nothing clear added to it.
No, nothing. No. Chicken slowly starts like going on like this. So anyway.
All
No.
right. We have started recording. Before we get into the itinerary, we are starting the West March BoD meeting. Due to time constraints, I would like to have Jamie and Jose mention something right at the beginning of the recording, if that's okay. If anybody has anything against that, please feel free to speak up now. All right. Please feel free to take it away.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk briefly about Once Upon a Time. The event dates are going to be February 1st through the 4th at the Cronenberg Renaissance Fair site. And our current prices right now until the end of July are $50 with 9-game in currency. And then slowly over the months, it's going to get a little more expensive each month until we hit February. So August and September will be $55 with 8-game in-game currency. October and November will be $60 with 6 in-game currency. December and January will be $65 with 6 in-game currency. December and January will be 65 with 5 in-game currency, and February will be 70 with 3 in-game currency. Right now we also have children's prices. So any child under the age of 7 is going to be free this year. Children from the age of 8 to 13 will be $15. We're gonna have 3 battle games, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. There's gonna be plenty of dungeoning. We're even going to have a nighttime dungeon. The Twiddle Fate Carnival will be returning again this year. And I hope to see everybody in Neverland.
Thank you very much, Jamie. That's appreciated. Cronenberg is kind of northeastern LA. It's kind of a good spot for everybody to come to, in my personal opinion. I went this year and I had a blast. I encourage everybody to take advantage of the affordable pricing. Why not save a few bucks? Jose, you are part of the team putting this together. Is there anything you'd like to add?
We also have meal plans, if I'm not mistaken, which are for $20.
$20 for 6 meals.
Exactly. And then we also have a nightlife in which we have an open free bar in which we do make sure that everyone's, of age. And then we also have Bardic Nights as well. And then we are going to have, this time it's going to be moved outside for the Bardic Nights next to a stage. And then in the tavern, we're going to have board games.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Hey,
Jose,
quick
will
question.
you go ahead and do the roll call, please?
Question, yes?
Oh, which knights are doing the Bardic? For the Bardic Knights.
Oh,
It is to laugh.
we're going to have Scoot.
Oof, you're all gonna regret that.
Yeah, I'm hearing Scoot volunteering to lead that and be the knight in charge.
Yep. Sounds like it.
If you've ever heard Vogon poetry, you are in for a treat when you hear Scoot poetry.
I mean, to be fair, Scoot was in choir.
There you go.
I second the motion to call to order.
All right. Jose, please take it away and let's do a roll call.
Alrighty. Do we have Brian today?
We do.
Okay, present. Oh, hold on. Kind of took my whole screen for a second. And then we have Rose today.
Yeah.
Paul.
Yep.
Got it. And then Andy.
Presence.
and then Jose Chavez, which is myself, and then Victoria Hale.
C is not here at the moment.
Got it, not here at the moment. Let me just, why is it doing this? Hold on 1 second. The Zoom is being a little bit dumb with me. And then we have I believe Dagger here today as well, correct? And then Navalin. Or did we just, are we adding just the Kingdom guest today, correct?
Guests and monarchy members will be added to the roll call and call to order. We have Jamie Clutter, Sir Fuzzy, and Dagger.
Got it. Okay.
Wonderful.
Jamie, and then what is Fuzzy's actual name?
Alfonso Garcia.
Alfonso Garcia. Okay.
Dagger, what's your real name?
That is Frankie Demento.
Frankie Demento.
That's like 3 months in a row I've asked your name. I'd like to sincerely apologize to everybody.
And
Doesn't bother me at all.
I am pointing out that it sounds kind of like a superhero.
Kind of does. I think I saw you in Moon Knight, Frankie.
Also, the monarch and the prime minister are not present at this time.
Thank you
Yeah,
for that, Andy. I appreciate it. Can we move on to reading of minutes of last meeting? Just need a second.
A second.
Thank you
There
very
is-
much. Thank you. So we had lots of wonderful people in attendance. Chris Sapolu apologized. He was unable to make it. And then somebody else said they couldn't make it. I can't.
7-Eleven. Do you have a phone number?
Last meeting was me.
Yes, that's true. Unfortunately, Jose Chavez was
The
unable.
second, I
make
just
it.
had that to see if there's any discount on things, but it should be processing
Who is
Yeah.
talking?
It's coming through on Paul.
Mhm.
Got it. I'll respectfully mute Paul for now. I apologize, Paul. Okay, so in the June agenda, I gave a personal update. That is still there. We talked about Westmart Square accounts, a link tree, and PayPal, talking about the percentage of charges that we are having from events and just regular uses. We talked about fund movement for Darkshore and West March in general. Cindy took care of that. Jose wasn't available for last meeting. It's been pushed to this meeting. Borehaven stepped in and talked about joining West March as a shire, which we all thought was pretty cool. There was not a response from Amtgard International. Spoiler alert, there is a response from Amtgard International this year. County of Monterey update. We had 2 updates in May and June. Monterey probably is not going to function for getting the discount that we want. We just don't have enough volunteers. BoD got access to the West March Google Drive. By that, I mean me. So myself and Cindy have access. Go Shire Gata. Jose wasn't here, so we weren't able to talk about bilingual flyer and waiver updates, mostly because I am a lazy schlub and only know French. We talked about a brief AmpWiki update. I will show that again this month. We talked about making the ledger public. We've taken some great steps towards that. We talked about park number follow-ups. That was added to not only the July itinerary, but also added to the all thing. Digital waivers, we have an update. We'll have another update this month as well. Trademarking the West March logo. We may talk about that this month. Probably not. There probably won't be a scribe update. Our scribe is at an MIA 3 months in a row now. We could technically disbar the scribe from their position if we so decided. The queen, the noble queen of West March, requested encouragement and participation in the board of directors meetings, and we have. And there was also a contest for July, which it's possible we may have somebody win. Okay, does anybody have any questions about last month's minutes?
I move to approve the meeting minutes as read.
Second.
Perfect. All right. We're going to move directly into the July agenda. And the number 1 task on the July agenda is actually more important than you think. we have an opportunity right now to adjourn the July meeting right now. This was put forth by a Knight of West March, a titled Knight of West March, a lorded Knight of West March, and I think it's something we should strongly consider. Scoot, do you have anything to say about this?
I believe it speaks for itself.
I think it's a good one. It's a very interesting. Do we have a second?
I
Wait,
move
what?
to move this item till the end of the meeting.
Boo. Are we, do we have a second for moving this item to the end of the meeting?
Second.
Boo. Fine.
Sorry, everybody.
All right. Okay. So, this is the July agenda. Chicken, you wanted to talk potentially about an opportunity for West March. Jose, is that something you might potentially like to talk about now, or would you like to push it to August?
No, I can talk about it right now. I have a little bit of information on it, not full information as I was like, but just enough to open it up.
Great, let's hear it, please.
Okay. Let me just. I'm going to. I'll show you the screen. I'll show you the thing, and you can scroll through it if you'd like. It's gonna send it to you real quick in the chat of the Zoom.
Sounds good.
Basically we've been looking for ways to help funding, and the bonfire one is the one that looks the most promising for us for right now currently. There's a link for it right there. The quick rundown for it, there's no inventory or minimum. They handle all the printing and shipping, 100% free to use. The easiest way is to sell online or buy directly. Responsive and caring support. They got your back every step of the way. And also for nonprofits, let me quickly look for what nonprofit is. And information on here somewhere about nonprofits. One quick second. If I'm not mistaken, nonprofits also get a discount from reusing it as well. I thought I saved it on there. It doesn't look like I did. But if you scroll down too, I also use the Better Business Bureau to show all the negative reviews from it. It actually has like a good one, a good score, and a good response, and them fixing their problems that they had with other people and getting that situation fixed compared to the other ones that I have on this list. There's more merch if you keep looking down of all the different ones that are possible, such as custom ink, and then Redbubble is another one that I was looking to, but so far Bonfire is the best one I looked for. Oh, there's a nonprofit bonuses. If you verify a nonprofit on Bonfire, you'll gain access to the site features designed specifically for nonprofits, including customizable organization profile pages, peer-to-peer event fundraisers, downloadable support list, and access to premium stuff. And then you also get like a discount too, to some things. And I do notice that on their page, they did have some other Amtgard kingdoms on there. So other Amtgard or kingdoms have done it, and I have talked to some, but it seems like they did that in the past, or some of their BoD members did it in the past, and they don't really have that information, so I couldn't really dig any. But Out will be using this, so if you guys want to wait until we take a look at the items and how they look and everything, we can put it on hold for now.
So meat and potatoes, what is this actually?
Basically they just do custom design shirts, so you can get a nice little custom design shirts, whatever logo you want on it. So you can put pretty much all the parks or a West March logo, or that current Dark Shores logo, or that current Foo or Fog logo, however you guys want to. And you can always just customize it and just take it away if you want to, put it back on there, and just different ways to get shirts to sell. And then you don't really have to put that much money into it. Just design the shirt. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul.
So instead of buying 15 shirts, you're printing to demand on shirt orders. So you
Yes.
have like one shirt and you'd be like, hey, if you want to buy this shirt, just go here, give us your address, we'll ship it right to you. Is that correct?
They handle it, yes.
Perfect. Great. So that's a great meat and potatoes explanation of it. And if
So
we
this
wanted to
is-
order, go for it.
So this is like a fundraising thing or a like way of getting stuff for the events?
It's more like a fundraising way. So if you want, like, let's say an event's trying to get more money for the coffers, or we're just trying to get money back for the event too, it's another alternative way to do it. Similar to how they did that at Foo for the Rise of the Variants. I believe that was the name for it. How they had shirts.
Okay, so it sounds like as a nonprofit, this would be more advantageous for us to use. It's a flexible tool with minimal drawback, perhaps simply because we're not ordering massive amounts of inventory and the upfront costs are low. So for events, this is a great opportunity for us to try out if this is a great way to get stickers, magnets, shirts, hats, that sort of thing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the drawback?
They are limited on what items they have. They don't have like they do have shirts and tank tops, but like when it comes to like variety like of different types of mugs or like travel things like that, that's where it's kind of limited to. But you get more simple things.
Okay. Looks like you have some other options on here like Redbubble, double the donation.
Mm-hmm. Redbubble is another one right there, but so far I've looked into it. It's at least from when I looked at the Better Business Bureau, it was kind of like not that much and a lot of unanswered things for it, and the rating was a D minus for theirs. So I stopped looking into it because on the Better Business Bureau it had a D minus on it, while the other ones had better ratings.
So
One hasn't.
Bonfire is free to use, and if we create an account, there isn't a monthly fee or a yearly fee. It's just something that if it works really well and out, you guys can be like, hey, this worked great. Maybe for mid rain or coronation or fog or something like that. We have a new resource.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like a subscription where you have to continuously pay for it. It's free to use.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that kind of sounds like it could be a good idea to have just like some West March ones, and if people just feel like having a West March shirt, they could like buy them.
Yeah. You can put whatever design you want onto it. If some parks wanted to, they can add their own park logo onto it, and then they can just buy it from that site, and it goes to the kingdom. Or if, a park wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an important thing that if West March creates a bonfire account, we have to make sure where the funds go. We need to make sure that somebody isn't using their own Square thing to take the payments and then transferring it to bonfire. Like we'll have to make sure that all the costs go through the website, that sort of thing, just for inventory purposes and tracking purposes. But no, that's great, man. Jose, will you type something up and throw it on the West March Discord about it?
Yeah. Once I get some of the more orders, I'll look and see how it actually goes out, because we're gonna do 2 separate orders to see the differences.
Perfect. Let me know. I'd like to jump in on one of these orders.
Okay.
The other thing that I'd worry about here is how do we ensure that it's primarily only used by members?
Why does it matter to
Because
only use by members?
because we're a 501c7, so for tax purposes, money that we take in has to be almost exclusively from members of the kingdom, or the kingdom, really.
It's true. It's possible we could have 100,000 people buy a West March shirt.
Well, I mean, even if we had, say, like people from another kingdom come and buy from it,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
technically is not our members.
Isn't it 35%? It can't be more than 35%.
I believe you're correct. I was trying to find it just now, and I
Yeah.
was not.
I feel like it's 35%. I mean, that is a very valid risk, but I don't know if that's a major concern. Unless people are buying, if we sell $50 shirts, then we'd have enough money to switch to a 501c3 at that point in time with a lawyer. But yeah, let's definitely make that note in here.
Mhm.
So bonfire to make shirts valid concern, oh my God, concern about 501c7 taking in more than 35% from non-members. Although at events, if people sign the waiver, technically they're participating with us. But
Yeah, we could just make a QR code just at the event, so it's only open during the event time, so they can only get it when they use the QR code to the link to the site, and then after the event, we just take off anything else. If you want to do it that way.
well, I think that I'm trying to think of the right phrase for it, but I think the event out will be a great test case scenario for this.
Yeah.
As a note for out, while it's run for AmpGuard, it like all of the expenses and stuff are done by specific individuals. So unless they donated the money to West March, that's separate, so they can make however much money they want.
Yep. So we can finagle the budget as necessary, so to speak.
So the plan with the money from out was to just, it goes directly back into out.
Sure, and that's a beautiful part because it means it's not actually owned by the entity of Westmarch. So it's not something that we even have to worry about at all, ever.
Yeah,
So
whatever the funds are done by the people who run, and if we were audited by the feds or something, they would not even look at those funds. So if it like made a huge profit, it wouldn't matter for us.
So the thing right now is, because like right now I am currently running Once Upon a Time. I don't have a non-for-profit number. So we as out would not be able to access those additional perks for being a non-for-profit. Which means we would receive less money back as one of the big ones.
That's a decent
Dragonvale
point.
probably needs to get a nonprofit EIN quite quickly. Or out could apply for its own nonprofit status as well. Or just get a regular business license and pay tax, but meh.
That would lose on the nonprofit benefits here.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm making a note, Dragonvale should consider getting an EIN. Cool. Okay, Chicken, I'm sorry, Jose, is there anything else that you would like to talk about regarding your opportunity with Bonfire?
No, not at this time.
Cool. Well, I think that's great. I hope to see more information about it, especially the first order. That's really interesting to me. We're going to move on to final response from AmpGuard International. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Quick hello to Victoria and Jody Van Tyne. Thank you so much for joining us. It's very kind of you, and please feel free to speak up whenever. Okay, y'all have probably seen this before. We've talked about it before. I finally got a good response from AmpGuard International. We've been chatting since February. They confirmed that this is real. Not only do they confirm this is real, they're like, yeah, we made it. So as we see here, West March paid a fair amount between the years of 2017 and 2022. And so did another kingdom. Everybody else was in the red. Obviously, there was that pesky plague. I'm showing this just because I want to bring some finalization to it. The reason we brought this up is like, hey, we paid a lot more than everybody else. What's going on? What's the history? I will be creating a write-up on this and putting it everywhere for easy to find use. But anyways, so I was talking to AmpGuard International, the AI BoD, really nice peeps, honestly. But I said, is there any recourse for us, making so many good faith payments And their response was, no, there is not. This was specifically addressed in the COM meeting. We are not penalizing nor giving credit for prior year payments since the licensing agreement was set up, which was voted on and approved by all kingdoms. So even though we've paid thousands of dollars more to the AI, we are not going to get any credit or thank you or anything of that capacity. And this was specifically addressed by them in their meetings. I chose to not look up the minutes. I've been messaging them since February. I was like, all right, we're not going to get anything. But it's important to bring up that whatever social credit we can give for our support of AmpGuard across the entire United States should be noted that our performance was above and beyond almost every other kingdom. So if we ever have interactions with AmpGuard International again, which we will, and which we will fully support, of course, we need to remember that we maybe should consider not being the first to offer up funds in the future. I think we've already done our job. So that is the end for me of communicating with AmpGuard International for now. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything that they would like to add to the record?
I move to close this item.
Well, perfect.
Second.
I was hoping that maybe we'd be able to potentially get like 2024 just paid for. That did not work at all. All right. The next topic, should West March have a bilingual flyer? Should West March have a bilingual waiver? If so, what languages should we have? That sort of thing. Ariana, thank you so much. Victoria, thank you so much for even showing up. You're quite kind. Paul is busy hitting people, which is good. We support that strongly.
I think definitely we should absolutely have a bilingual flyer and a bilingual waiver. I think Spanish would be an absolute must because at least for anywhere close to Mexico or South America, that's going to be a pretty predominant language.
It's definitely the most likely option for at least Dragonvale, yes.
I mean, we got a lot of Asian languages too, but to be fair, there's like a lot of Asian languages, whereas like most Spanish like covers most Hispanic areas. Whereas like Korean, Chinese, and Japanese are all very different. You could not have just one and expect everyone to understand it.
I think we have some really good news on that, though. If we choose to do digital waivers, then it is possible that we can make a bunch of waivers and just host them all online.
That was my plan. So far, I did try it out. I have a Spanish waiver, but it's a work in progress because I am not good. I was gonna say no bueno when it comes to Spanish. But luckily, I have Alex, aka Walrus, and his family looking over the one that I made right now. This is the one that I temporarily made. I'm not sure if you guys can click on that right now. Hopefully you can. I sent it in the Zoom chat.
I'm trying
That's
right now.
not a link that's ever gonna work.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
Could it work? Can I chat? Can I send it here? Hold on, let me see.
You
I
could
don't know if you can
upload a
attach things
document
here.
to the chat if you wanted.
Let me see. No, this is the same thing. The document to the chat. All right, hold on.
Yeah, you click on file right here.
All right.
I would, if I was gonna do it, I'd just add it to your OneDrive real quick or your Google Drive real quick and send that link.
I should have done that.
Oh,
I sent
that
it,
worked.
but yeah. But
That's okay.
this is the temporary one that I used. Again, not an expert in it, but I am having people looking over it who don't do AmpGuard, but just can understand and do better grammar than me when it comes to Spanish. So they're overlooking that right now to make sure it's correct. And then I was thinking of expanding it. I was looking into it, and if we don't have people that do understand other languages, I was gonna see about other kingdoms to see if anyone else has done this before. And then if not, then so far when I was looking at different programs that could transfer or translate other languages, it seemed pretty easy and it seemed inexpensive, especially for just one document. So I was thinking that idea you guys had for the digital waivers would be a good idea for like the multiple different ones in one collective thing. And over the year, we can continue adding it to where we just have enough, maybe 20 or if not more. I'm not sure how many things are possible.
I think the fact that we're starting to work on this is good, and hopefully by the end of the year we will have a functioning waiver and other options, hopefully in multiple languages, just because it's a smart thing to have. I just kind of put into Chat GPT, translate the AmpGuard waiver into Spanish. And so
Yeah.
you can do that too.
Yeah.
Throw that out there. But
Um,
thank you.
If we could ask Ariana, what kind of legal requirements do we have on a waiver?
In the sense of like how to translate them, or
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I know that for certain translation programs or anything like that, or even just people translating, the meaning of the language can change. Just like, the nuance of a word in English legal language may be different from the nuance of a word in Spanish legal language. I don't know, but do you have any knowledge of that?
sure. My suggestion would be to find, I don't necessarily think we should just trust a program that we can plug our waiver in and hope that it translates it like Google Translate or AI, for fear that even if we have individuals who in their everyday use that language, they might not be familiar with the legalese portion of that language and
Right.
which words are best for that particular sentence or meaning.
Yeah.
So if we can find somebody, there are certified legal translators that we could probably reach out to, but they're not going to be cheap. So if we're going to do that, we would definitely want to do maybe one at a time. And maybe see if that would be something they'd be willing to do for us, just to make sure that it's as accurate as possible. But it's definitely not something that's impossible to do.
Awesome. Great. Okay. There really isn't an AMP Wiki update. I haven't done any work on it. I'll own that one. We'll go from there. We don't need to talk about that either. All right. This was added by Cindy, disbanding Raven's Roost. I will admit freely, I don't know a lot about this. Does anybody have anything specific they would like to talk to about Raven's Roost? Perhaps Paul, actually, on this one.
Is that like a park or what?
The information that I got was, sorry for the delay. Can you add disbanding's Ravens? Hey, Brian, can you add the disbanding of Raven's Roost to the BoD meeting? I asked our monarch about this, and she says this is a BoD thing. So we'll do some quick interneting.
Let me jump on the orc and see if that's a park.
It
No,
is.
see,
It's Yuba City. It's under.
It's in
It's
Yuba
a
City and
freehold.
Gridley.
So freehold. Yeah, I
It's
don't
listed
see
as
it.
a freehold on the AMP wiki, or sorry, orc.
Yeah, I don't see
If
it
it's
on
a
West Marsh.
freehold, then
No, we can't disband it because we have no say over it.
We have 0 input.
there is no Raven's Roost on AMP Wiki either.
And it is not listed under us on West March, so it is officially, as far as the orc is concerned, not ours.
All right. Well, in that case, disbanding Raven's Roost. Let's see here. Not part of West March. Freehold.
It looks like the person who last entered credits for it is, at least in the month of June, played in Thor's Refuge.
Okay, what I would like to do is I motion that West March declares war on Raven's Roost. Official declaration of war.
Second.
But
I don't even think I can legally second, but I second it.
We're doing it. We're doing
Second.
it.
Send the
West
zombies.
March with both malice and premeditation hath declared war on the unjust members of Raven's Roost until the time in which they join West March.
Unjust or overly talkative. Yeah, they are ravens.
That's true. On the chatty,
I feel like birds are cool in general.
while birds are indeed cool, ravens, according to West March, are not,
I feel like
except Jody.
I'm kind of fond of birds myself.
I think
Etah,
we
do you know
might
anything
have
about
it.
Raven's Roost?
All likes birds.
Yeah, I'd really like some context, not that we can have it, about how this even came up, because it seems like a weird thing to suddenly request.
I will send a message to Cindy right now. Hey, give me some feedback about Raven's Roost.
I
We
mean,
just declared war on them.
yes.
except for the fact that they haven't met since November, according to the orc. I mean, like, I don't,
Should be very easy to plant a flag there then.
yeah.
No one's
Well, it
defending
is
it.
kind of a far drive.
Well, we'll send Bear. He goes everywhere.
That's so true.
As I was saying, send the zombies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Zombies can finally get a well-deserved victory. All right.
Which is Silver Valley.
I motion to move on to digital waivers.
Second.
All
Third.
right. That's trademark a logo. Where is digital waivers? Oh, I didn't open it because I'm a genius. Open. Digital waivers proposal. Aha! All right. This is Rose's baby, not Rosemary's baby, Rose's baby. Rose, would you like to talk about the digital waivers proposal that you've been working on for quite some time?
Sure. Digital waivers are the future. This company seems really good. Milan made a write-up of the best things about them.
I see she muted herself, so all right. So the digital waivers proposal, which the West March BoD, if we all agree or majority agree, I think we should be all agree, honestly. If we think this is a good idea, we'll put it forth to the West March monarchy to see if they wish to incorporate this. All right, Smart Waiver is a very nice organization from what I found. They have no contracts, no fees, and you can cancel anytime. Sounds a bit like Bonfire. In my opinion, I found them to be affordable and accessible almost anywhere as long as you have a digital signal. You can't access these things offline. That's the one drawback. Unlimited digital storage. We can store 1 million waivers. We can export all the waivers to external storage if we ever decide to do so. We can email event waivers in advance proactively to participants who sign up. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so how much would this cost us? Well, the first month would probably be about $55 because we would get all active participants within West March to sign a brand new digital waiver. I don't care if you signed it 2 months ago, sign a new one, let's get a digital, just do it. Because we can't upload paper waivers. That's the second drawback. There is not a way to upload paper waivers, but there is a way to proactively, after the fact, send a digital waiver to people who sign paper waivers. We'll get to that. The next months, it would be an estimated $19 a month, which would be 100 waivers for West March to use every month. For every every park, you get a shared 100 waivers, which we feel would be enough. If for some reason we use more, for that month, you get bumped up to the next stage, which is $10 additional. Expected outcome with looking at the numbers is about $228 a year for waivers and storage. I feel that's, and we'll get into this, but we feel it's a good investment. Why do we need digital waivers? It saves time, it saves space, it increases security, and ensures we always have a copy of records. It gives us access to emails as well if we want to do a marketing campaign. Everybody that signed a digital waiver, if they put an email on it, we could say, hey, let's send out a mass email about Feast of the Gods. Let's send a mass email about Shark Door, something like that. How do we get these waivers?
I'd like to add to the,
Go for it, Paul.
I just wanted to add to the why. So there is an AmpGuard-wide conversation about waivers and liability. So by using this third party, we are paying them to have the legal liability of storing these. We will not be sued if something happens to that website. They will.
I think that's a huge idea. I think it's a good idea, and I think it's a reasonable use of funds. The waiver is hosted online, and there's a QR code that the participants would point their phone at, and it would pop up on their phone, and they would fill it out on their phone and get an email confirmation that it was signed. We can also email them a link that they can do on their laptops at home as well, proactively, reactively, whatever.
For us, for the digital waiver that we've been using, that we just have as a Google Doc, we actually added it to our park's QR tree thing.
Linktree.
That we sent out. Linktree, that's what it's called. And so they get access to the rule book, access to everything else, and right at the top highlighted is the sign a waiver. And being able to just have a QR code and have people scan it has been very nice and efficient. You don't have to have pens, you don't have to have paper, you don't have to have remembered anything. You can just be like, oh crap, right, new people, here's the QR code.
I love that. And have you found it easy to look up who's signed the Google Docs waiver if you need to?
That's actually how
Yeah.
Rose adds people in nowadays.
Yeah, I make them sign the waiver and then I go and look up their record on the Excel sheet that it inputs to. And then I have their email, I have their real name, I have any of the family members that they were signing for, and I can just create their accounts without actually having to talk to them. And so when I go over to them to sign them in, everything's already inputted, and the only thing I have to ask them is, what's your persona name that you want? Do you want these pronouns? And like, that's it. Whereas when we had paper waivers, it was like trying to use the waiver to sign people in was not going to be feasible because they're illegible. You don't know who they are. And like trying to find a paper waiver that actually went to someone would have been like an astronomically difficult task because nobody signs those legibly.
Yep. I think this is a
For the-
long. Go for it, Victoria.
Sorry, for the program that we're looking at, is it super easy to find like an individual's waiver? Does it label it a certain way? Or I was thinking for like PMs who are at their park, if they want to make sure that somebody's signed a waiver, if they say they've signed one or whatever, they can just kind of pull it up.
I don't have personal knowledge, but I did go and talk to some businesses that actually recommended this waiver service, and that was what they said, was that it was very easy to find people if you needed to.
I
But,
looked at it. It's called the waiver console. You can search by last name, birth date, or something, whatever you want to search for. It's just this giant online Excel sheet. And the good news is that Thor's
That's awesome.
Refuge, huh? No, go for it, Ariana.
I was just saying that's awesome.
Yeah. What's good about this is that Thor's Refuge could look up something from Seven Sleeping Dragons as well. This is a complete West March wide database that if individuals log into, and we will have to deal with who has the password, who has the access, et cetera, but we can also proactively just download stuff to an external hard drive as well if we wished, from time to time for added security. But yeah, it's a really nice program in my opinion.
So
but-
it looked like there that you could add individual users, which that's great.
Yes. But Milan, they're not going to read the waiver when they sign it. They already don't read it. So I don't think that's an issue. What are the obvious issues that we're missing in spending $228 a year? Well, we need a yearly budget. At this point in time, I request that for August Board of Directors meeting, we really sit down and make a yearly budget and for all of West March and post it online somewhere publicly. I really want that to happen because right now, somebody shout out what West March spends money on every year, like not discretionary spending, mandatory spending.
Feast of Mars, site fees, Dark Shore site fees, having to pay the AmpGuard International, and various other expenses for scrolls and etc.
Yep. We also pay a fee for our Google Drive. And there has been discussion about potentially getting storage. There also has been discussion about obviously doing the digital waivers. If Rose decides to leave, Andy's not going to remember all that. That's not true. I'm using it as an example. We need something written. I really want us to do that. Thank you, Rose, for putting that out there. We have fees. We should have a written budget. All right. What other obvious issues are we missing? You need a signal to use Smart Waiver. There might be a rural area where we're going to have paper waivers on hand. There was an event in Queens Creek, Arizona, and I remember there wasn't a signal. There wasn't a signal there. There might be now. I don't know. We are uncertain if we can upload paper waivers. Like, hey, here's a waiver. Can we manually enter it? No, we cannot. That actually I was able to find out. We will have to email them a digital waiver after the fact. So we'll need to make sure their email address is legible before we accept paper waivers. Otherwise, we're going to have to store that paper waiver. For events, we may increase the number of waivers per month as needed. For Dark Shore, this may increase costs for a 1-month increment. 5 years of Smart Waiver is $1,100. At some point in time, we maybe should consider a conversation about creating our own waiver and our own digital hosting. But as Paul so accurately pointed out, this cost isn't that overwhelming when we look at the liability issue, especially when considering the risks of not having waivers accessible for members. All right. We would need, in my opinion, a very small corpora amendment. Because this increase focuses on waivers, for this article of the corpora, any person wishing to join, relocate, or renew membership with West March must sign a new waiver. That's what it currently says. To go back to the the June meeting at the very beginning, I gave an update about myself. I'm having a bit of an issue at the moment, so I apologize if I can't speak. Give me a second. Okay. Any person wishing to join, relocate to, or renew membership with West March must sign a new waiver. That's what it currently says under the waiver section. My suggested change simply adds participate with. This takes into account individuals who are not members. Membership is defined as individuals who choose to pay dues in the corpora.
Not quite.
Say that again, Andrew.
You don't have to pay dues to be a member.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll ask your opinion because you've been around quite some time. I want participate with to protect ourselves for individuals who aren't members, who just walk up one day and fill out a waiver and go. Is that a good corpora change or is that unnecessary in your opinion? Or anybody speak up, of course.
I see that covering people who come from other kingdoms, because right now, basically, if they're coming from another kingdom and just visiting, there's no need for them to fill a waiver per corpora because they're not renewing a membership, they're not joining, they're not relocating, they're just here for the day. Whereas having participate with would add a requirement that if they are coming at all and doing anything, they would still need to sign.
I did more research into this when I wrote this up, and I apologize for not having it pulled up. But while this may not be enforced with traveling participants from other kingdoms, this is a smart addition to our Corpora to protect Westmarch simply because the current Corpora does not define participation, only membership. I have it right here. Article 2, Section 2, Subclause 2. Article 2, Section 2, Subclause 2. A non-voting member, which Scoot accurately pointed out, need not meet any attendance requirements nor pay dues in the kingdom. They must have a signed waiver on file with their local prime minister. That may cover exactly what I have here and may make this unnecessary. Article 2, Section 2, Subclause 3B, which is just for junior, regardless of determination of field participation. This is the only place where it says participation in the entire Westmarch Corpora, and it deals with junior members. That's why I wanted to add participation to Section 1, Subsection 1, which is Section 1, Subsection 1. Yeah, right here. Is it right here? Apologize for the delay. Westmarch,
Yeah, I
Westmarch
think
waiver. XIX, sorry. That's it. Pulsa. XI. There we are. Westmarch waiver. Any person wishing to join, relocate, or renew membership must sign a new waiver. At the time of signing a waiver with Westmarch, the signer must show valid ID, etc., etc. I didn't see participate in here. Joining Westmarch, does a person who walks up, grabs a boffer, and hits somebody, did they join Westmarch?
Usually depends on whether or not they get signed in. If they get signed in, then they have joined Westmarch. But it
And
is a
nobody's
kind of
allowed to swing a sword if they haven't been wavered. And Park should be explicitly disallowing anybody from touching anybody else or any equipment if they haven't gotten wavered.
Wonderful.
that is true, but is their mom who's just standing there in the background watching but could still fall and break her ankle just by walking by a participant or not? I mean, she's not hitting anyone with a sword, but she's bringing children. She is participating in some capacity. It'd probably be good to have her wavered anyway.
Dagger, you obviously are the Kingdom GMR at the moment. What's your
Oh, no,
opinion,
I'm not anymore, actually.
Dagger, as the head GMR of all of Amtgard? What is your opinion? No, I apologize, Frankie. Thank you for that. Does anybody have, and please know, everybody has a say in here, everybody has an equal say, etc., etc. Is this a stupid suggestion? Is this an unnecessary suggestion? Because that's less work for everybody if it gets removed. If we don't need it, say so.
I don't think it's stupid. I think it just covers one more potential issue by adding sometimes having extra language, although it seems silly, is helpful. I think there was a good point about Amtgard is coming from out of state or from a different kingdom. Where is it that they fall into just because they have a waiver someplace else doesn't necessarily mean that they are waived in Westmarch. So maybe we should be having them re-sign a waiver if they haven't signed one, but not everyone would think that because they're an Amtgarder, right? And maybe mom should be signing a waiver. Typically, when I was at our park, we would have the parents sign a waiver for themselves and then sign a waiver for their kids. But I don't necessarily think everybody's doing that because they're thinking, oh, mom and dad aren't playing, kids are playing, so they don't need to sign anything. They're not going to be hitting anybody with buffers. So just putting participate in, I think, just kind of covers a few more things.
I have a stupid question.
Let's hear it.
What, outside of our Corpora, what requires a person in Amtgard to have a waiver?
This is all I was able to find right here.
Sure. So in our corpora, we require our members to have waivers.
Yep.
Regardless of whether they fight or not. Just
Well,
anybody who's a member.
It's a good question. Does the rule book require it, which would make it so that every other corpora has it, or is it something that is up to the individual kingdom? Because if it's up to the individual kingdom, there could be kingdoms that don't require it.
So
holy
all
crap.
that I can find in the rule book is that children or people under 14 have to have a waiver signed by their parent.
I have the 8.0 pulled up and I
Yep.
searched for waiver and it just has for children's legal guardian.
Oh, there's one more below, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully every kingdom is like, gee, having a waiver is a good idea. But if we care enough about waivers that we're like doing all of this stuff for it, assuming other kingdoms are smart might not be our best plan.
Cindy says hello to everybody. She is unable to make it, unfortunately. Yeah, I always thought, yeah, I'm so sorry. I always thought everybody had to do a waiver. I had to do a waiver in VSR back in the 90s. But
Oh, hey, it's on there is on ampguard.com. It
Thank
does
you.
have it listed there. Under join, under learn the basics, step 5 is fill out a membership form /waiver. I don't know if that's, legally binding, but it's at least somewhere where all of AmpGuard is referred to.
yeah, rules of play definitely isn't the whole thing. Fill out a membership form. One of the few actual requirements for joining AmpGuard is filling out a membership form and a waiver before you take the field. Group you visit will have something to fill out. So before you take the field, moms don't take the field. Dads might not take the field. So yeah, somebody could get shot in the face and have an unfortunate day.
So looking back, it was in the V7 rulebook. I could look further back. I don't really feel like it. But it's definitely not in the V8 rulebook.
And
Which
the way
made me
that
think,
the rules go, if it's in the rule book, kingdoms are required to follow it, but if they aren't,
yeah,
it's
no
not a
kingdom
requirement.
is required to follow some random line on the website.
Yeah.
Maybe our
Well,
rules rep should bring that up with the rules reps.
That doesn't sound like gameplay related rules, and that's all I'm allowed to cover.
Really?
That's gonna be a Circle of Monarchs thing for you to go fuss about.
Jesus.
That means talking to the monarch. Ugh.
This is entertaining.
I do kind of feel like it's gameplay related in that you can't play the game if you're not wavered, but maybe that's just me.
Well, except that rule doesn't exist.
But I would say that we do exactly, which is why maybe the rules reps would want to talk about that. But again, that's just me. I was saying, I think Brian had mentioned like parents don't always take the field. Color players don't always take the field either. So, but we still require them to be wavered. So again, I think the participate in concept is not a bad thing to add. And maybe we just are a little bit more fluid with who we make sure gets wavered, just in case there's that one time mom or dad does pick up a boffer to hit their kid and then something happens, or like just in jest, or
Yep.
I think it would cover it.
Thank you, Victoria. That makes a lot of sense. At a Renaissance festival once, I was gigging with participants, and I let a kid swing one of my mock axes. The mock axe was a cast of pewter, wasn't sharp at all, but he took a big swing back and hit his brother in the face with it. And that was the last time I carried metal at a Renaissance festival. Luckily, the parents had a good laugh about it. But yeah, things happen. They really do.
Could easily have not.
All right. Is everybody fine with presenting the information that we have on digital waivers for addition into West March budget and weekly use?
I mean, I'm good with it.
Does anybody have anything against it? I'm going to take the silence as a no. Please feel free to message me privately if you do not want to bring up your concerns here. If you are watching this video later, please feel free to message me with your concerns. I'm on Discord, Facebook, all that crud. Great. Rose, this is your baby. If you want to present it, please do. If you want assistance, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help. So will everybody else here, I'm sure. Does anybody else want to move on to the next thing? We're almost done. Just need a second from you.
Sure.
All right, thank you. All right, trademarking the West March logo. This is something that I was very interested in doing just because I found it to be quite affordable and I thought it was a smart idea. I'm going to run through this very swiftly because we went through this in May. What is a trademark? It's a word, name, symbol, or device. We have a West March logo and we have the name West March. If we trademarked it, how long will it be active? 5 years. So if we said, hey, we want to trademark the West March name and logo for our 501c7, great. For 5 years, it'll be active. Who owns the trademark? Technically, whatever is listed on our Statement of Information, SI 100, which right now is myself, Cindy, and Tirza Brown. So every 6 months, that should change. So the owner of the trademark would technically change every 6 months to the board of directors, the prime minister, that sort of thing. If we trademarked it, how much would it cost? $70 for the first 5 years, $30 for each renewal. That means $100 to trademark our name and logo for 10 years. $100. I felt that was good. How do we confirm the status of the trademark? Like, are we actually trademarked? You go to this website right here. Why would we do this? The important question. It will ensure that West March has control over who chooses to use our logo and name. Right now, I talked to Jose, and he said he's in the process of using Bonfire to make a t-shirt that says West March sucks and loves Hitler. He told me that's what he's going to do. If we weren't trademarked, we would have no recourse against that. Obviously, that's not real.
Hey, chicken,
But
let me
if
get
we-
one of those.
I know. Sign me up. So
Leave me out of this.
okay. So if we didn't have a trademark, we would have no recourse against this. Is that going to happen? No, of course not. Is this potentially a waste of $100 that we'll never worry about? Probably, but it's something that's inexpensive and safe. And I think it adds a bit of legitimacy to our organization. All right. How do we go about this? This falls well under Article 3, Section 3, Subclause 10. The kingdom monarch is allowed to spend up to 10% of the treasury each month in order to run the kingdom as needed. This is well under 10% of the treasury, $70. However, we could put it to an all-thing vote for the entire kingdom. I think that's fine. Do you approve West March to spend $70 in 2023 to trademark the West March logo for 5 years with a renewal charge of $30 due every 5 years to protect the West March logo and name from improper use? I think that's a very simple all-thing vote. It might go right along with our digital waivers that we might be adding to an all-thing if our noble monarch decides that they don't want to just do it. And the reason that this didn't get passed in May is that there was a question. What happens if someone sues me for trademark infringement? How do we protect our logo if we are trademarked? What do we do? So a trademark owner who believes its mark is being infringed may file a civil action in state or federal court. Because we're California, chances are it would always be state court. In most cases, trademark owners choose to sue for infringement in federal court. But everything should be in California. It's possible somebody in Texas could infringe upon us, which would have to be federal court. If the Victoria, why am I talking when you're in this meeting? Is this something you might want to talk about?
I'm driving, so it probably would be less fluent than yours.
All right, no
Um,
problem. I definitely don't want to put you on the spot, but I apologize for that because I think we did talk about this, and I apologize.
No, it's totally fine.
Good. This will cost us money to actually sue someone. That's the important thing. It would cost us money to sue somebody for trademark infringement, but it would give us the opportunity before suing them to provide a cease and desist letter saying, hey, stop or we will sue you. That should prevent anything from happening, but potentially we may have to go to the next level, which is suing them. Will that ever happen? Probably not. Do I still think this is a small idea? Yes. What is the filing fee for small claims court in California? It's like $75 to file a claim in California. That's directly from the California website. So filing a cease and desist or a civil action in California is reasonably affordable. So that is all of the information for how to trademark a logo in California. Does anybody have any questions about this? If you don't have any questions, do you think it's a good or bad idea? Is this
I
unnecessary?
move that we present this to the monarch for an all-thing vote.
Second.
Perfect. I did not do anything on the 501c3. That's my bad. Jay is not here. They haven't been here in a couple of months. I will connect with the scribe when we have time, and hopefully we'll be able to go from there. I do want to bring up the next section briefly, just because we should say we went over it, and that is the new rules. Where did the new rules go? Oh no, this link isn't working. Oh my God.
It's because it's split over 2 pages. Just manually copy the whole line. Like, that might work.
Fine. We'll do it Scoot's way.
I just dropped it in chat if that's easier for you.
No. I do it my way. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your assistance, and thank you very much, Jose, for dropping it in chat. All right. For anybody watching this and for everybody who was in the meeting, please tell everybody at your park there are new rules. They are allowable to be adopted immediately. The new updated rule set may not be published for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, etc., but please tell everybody about this and go through them together. The most important thing that I've noticed, that spell balls can now be covered in non-abrasive cloth tape instead of cloth. So there's going to be a big change to spell balls. And then, of course, I think everybody knows this already. There is a big update to arrows. And I think that is actually a very positive thing. We have some wonderful archers in here. Does anybody want to talk about the differences in arrow construction moving forward? That's okay. I'll just mention that we have taken important steps to make arrow construction safer. And that means that moving forward, everybody's arrows are going to have to be rechecked. And there's going to be some unfortunately unhappy people when the new rule set makes their arrows potentially no longer legal. This is the biggest change, in my opinion, about all of the 2023 V8 rules changes. I think it's a positive one. I honestly believe we could go further. The size of the arrow tip, which I do not believe was connected in here. Is that correct? They didn't address arrow tips. They just addressed the arrow blunts, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I hope that they increase the size of arrows in the future. I do not believe they have done that. But yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. Nothing that's going to be incredibly game changing, but there's a lot of value in here. Thank you for dropping it into chat. Everybody, please share it with your parks, share the link with your parks and all that fancy fun stuff. Let's make sure that everybody knows about it. All right. Thank you for the people who chose to join. Our noble monarch has requested that we encourage participation in the BoD meetings. And that is it. Do we have a second for adjourning the July meeting?
Nope.
There was another issue that I had wanted to talk about. Specifically, the park in Hawaii was wanting to know what they would need to do to get made a West March Park again. And I did look through the Kapora and I didn't really see anything that gives guidelines of parks going from defunct to reforming.
Oh, goodness, yes.
If they kept the same name, do they still need to become a freehold and then become, apply again? Or if they are keeping the same name and have some of the same people, running it, do they just need to inform us that they're trying to be active again? I didn't see a lot in the Kapora that actually gave any real guidance for that.
I pinged my rules reps from the other kingdoms about it, and they all agreed that it is entirely in our jurisdiction. We get to make the final call on it. They will not be treated as a freehold by Amped Guard International since they were already allowed under us. So whatever we say goes.
Should
Okay.
a group restart and maintain regular park days for a 3-month period, the assets and records shall be returned to that group's monarchy.
So did we ever pull their assets and records in the first place?
What's
I
the name?
don't think we did.
I
That
honestly
does,
don't know, but I don't think we did.
that is for a group dissolving though, which to me the difference is we did have some groups over COVID who, said, hey, we're breaking up. We're going to go join other parks. Our park is, going to be dissolved. Whereas with the Hawaii park, it was a lot more like, hey, we'll see you guys next week. Well, maybe next week. Well, maybe next week. Oh shit, it's been 2 years and we haven't met.
What's the name of the park?
That is a good question.
Skyfire
Sunfire
Bay?
Bay?
Skyfire Bay. Yeah, that's it.
Sapphire Bay.
Say that one more time.
Skyfire
Sky-
Bay.
Fire Bay.
I don't see it in the org. What's the first thing? Something Fire Bay.
Sky.
Skyfire.
Got it.
I don't believe it's listed in the orc because it did go defunct, but
Yep.
the
Skyfire
question-
Bay on Amped Wiki is listed as a chapter of West March.
Mhm.
Restarted on March 10th, 2023, a group effort by all members. So maybe we should find out what their org is and see if it lists. Oh, here it is right here. Let's see.
If you
On
look at it from their side, it says they're under West March. If you look at West March listed lands, they are not listed under our lands. So they're in a weird gray spot.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Sounds like something just needs to be fixed on the orc then.
Yep. Kingdom of West March, Skyfire
Yeah.
Bay. Look at this.
Well, that was the question though, which they had specifically asked, which was, do they just become one of our parks or would they have to go through the process? From what I think it was Dagger said, they
Mhm.
would not be able to be a freehold, so they would just come back as a shire.
Yep. They're not listed under Kingdom of West March parks, as somebody accurately pointed out. I think it was Frankie.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're not here, but they are listed here. Kingdom of West
So
March, Skyfire Bay.
would we maybe want to have some kind of procedure put in for oversee for having them become a shire again? Like do we want to see a consistent amount of, participating before we contact the orc people and get them re-registered under us? Or do we literally just want them to contact anyone from the kingdom and then we contact the PM and have them registered again?
3 months of regular attendance, what he rattled off before, if we could just reword that for defunct lands, I think that'd work perfect.
So we've got a few things to add to a Compora amendment for an all thing, excuse me. Does somebody want to write that up, a Compora amendment regarding defunct land, so I don't have to do it?
Yeah, I can write that up.
Thank you, Paul. And by the way, while we have Paul here, let's do a very brief, preemptive, subtle nod to Paul for things that might happen in the future that none of us know anything about.
Thanks.
I mean, I know about it, but
They were publicly posted, so.
It was publicly posted, was Mark.
I ain't gonna be the one to say it. It's like talking about a no-hitter. Well, thank you for your efforts, Paul, obviously, and as all the nights that I've seen in West March know, it's not the finish line, it's just the beginning. So congratulations on all your efforts, and I hope that you have some exciting things planned for everybody in the future.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Okay. Are there any other comments or statements about the Hawaii Park Skyfire Bay?
No.
They had also posted that they were unable to join the West March Facebook group. Does anyone know if that ever got settled or anything like that?
I've never heard of that. I'm going to message I'm going to message the monarch, and I'm going to message the prime minister and ask them to look into that. Is that okay for everybody?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I can tell you that that player never came back to the Discord anywhere to say anything one way or the other.
Okay.
Tell them to message the West March Google account, and we'll try that.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing. I should remember that in the future.
Message has been sent. Okay.
Awesome.
wow, their park they play at is cool.
Is it?
It's so
That's
much
cool.
grass and trees. And it's right next, there's like a pond and it's right on the ocean.
Yeah, I have people from Washington who are saying they hope they come back because they're awesome and they have a lot of players who have gone and visited there.
Jody,
Neat.
thank you for your messages. I just saw them now. I'm so sorry for not seeing them earlier. Oh, one thing about Smart Waiver, and I apologize for going back. Smart Waiver sent us this. Thanks for reaching out. We admire the work you're doing with West March and would like to offer a 10% discount for our services. So the $19 a month would be, basically $18 a month. I asked them if there was a nonprofit discount, and they said yes. And we got a 10% discount, which they probably give to anybody anyways. But an easy way to save a couple of bucks. So
I mean, it's still nice of them to offer it.
Exactly.
I
All
like
right,
money.
guys. Go for it.
I think he asked how much money, something.
No, I just said I like money. I was quoting Idiocracy. I'm sorry.
I like money.
You should never apologize for quoting Idiocracy.
You like money too? We should hang out.
No.
All right. Do we have a second for adjourning the July meeting?
What about the
Adjourn, second.
participation prizes?
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
The participation prize.
That's true. All right. So we have Jamie Clutter, Alfonso Garcia, and Jody Van Tyne. Frankie, do you serve a position in the monarchy currently?
I do not.
Oh, well, then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 people for guests in attendance. The Honorable Monarch of Westmarch has stated that guests who participate are entered into a raffle for a gift card. I will be adding these individuals to a message to that person right now. And I don't know if they will give all or maybe just one. I'm not in charge. These are the 4 guests for the raffle for July. I spelled raffle wrong.
I mean, I kind of feel like you should pull out a D4 and roll on video.
I don't know, just attendance credit. Oh, no. Okay.
I have a D4.
Jody says that she wants attendance credit and she demands the gift card.
You almost fight for it.
She can have it. I got the one from last month. Had a nice Starbucks.
Wait, I don't have a D4. Oh,
How are you gonna roll dagger damage?
I don't know. I have like everything else except the D4.
All right. I have I have a custom dice tower. I get it. Oh, it's right here. Custom dice tower and a
You're
D4.
still screen presenting.
Oh, darn it. Fine.
So if they
All
win,
right.
they get the custom dice tower, right?
All right. We are going to stop sharing. Boom, baby. All right. I wonder if I can make myself the large one here. Whatever. All right. Here is the dice tower. Here is the D4. So we are going to have Jamie, you are 1. Alfonso, you are 2. Frankie, you are 3. Jody, you are 4. And those are in order of individuals who join the meeting. So we're going to put this in the top and we're going to see what we see. Ready?
Blur as the suspense. Yep.
All right. It is a 2 for Alfonso Garcia. Let's see if we can get some people can see in there. Probably not.
The blur doesn't help.
Yeah, I know.
Contest is rigged.
Oh, wait. Almost. It's almost there.
Oh. Well,
Awesome, go chicken.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No, fuzzy, not chicken.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy.
Fuzzy, go fuzzy.
all right.
We have similar names.
Yeah.
Fuzzy chicken.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
We rolled and Alfonso won. Who is Sir Fuzzy?
Yes,
There we
Sir
go.
Fuzzy.
That was so professional. All right. We need to do
Schedule.
a meeting for August. Is Tuesdays okay for everybody?
I would rather not do Tuesday because
All
that's
right.
the fighter practice day.
That
Is-
seems fair.
Is Wednesday okay?
That's
Sure.
our fighter practice day.
Okay. Is Monday okay?
That's my favorite
Yeah.
practice day.
Thursday.
That's
That's
no,
That's
I'm
good.
just kidding.
Thursday
I mean, that
Friday
is
doesn't work for
Wyvern
Rose and I,
Spur
but
fighter practice day, but I don't drive an hour down to get to it.
You know what? It's okay. We could do Wednesdays. I'll just bug off
Yeah.
once a month. I do it often anyway.
Is there an issue with Thursday for anybody?
it
Yeah.
doesn't work for Rose and I.
Okay. Wednesday,
Wednes-
August 16th or Wednesday, August 23rd?
Calendar. When is the mid-range chicken?
I'm still trying to get that one actually.
It was supposed to
Oof.
be like the last month, the week of the
Yeah.
month ago, right?
I know. I've been poking with a stick.
Let's do the 16th.
The zombie raid is the 26th.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do the 16th.
Wednesday,
Okay.
August 16th at 6 p.m.
I will not be available. I have classes from the 14th to the 22nd, and they're like from like 3 to 10.
All right.
Do we want to do the 9th?
Wednesday, August 23rd.
Could we do the 9th?
Wednesday, August 9th.
That works for me.
All right, that's going to be a quick one, but I think that's okay because July is a long month. So we're going to do Wednesday, August 9th at 6 p.m. Does anybody have anything against that? Jamie, are you still here?
Yeah.
Will you tell Fuzzy that he won the gift card for this week or this month?
No. You won the gift card for participating in the BOD meeting. Yeah, good job.
It was for his insightful conversation.
Yes.
Make sure Kaya has an email address, because that's how she sent me mine. Just a little digital
Jamie,
certificate.
will you send Christian Corsair or Brian Olette Alfonso's email address?
Okay.
These mundane names, I swear to goodness. All right.
So ridiculous for chicken.
All right, guys, I am going to leave this board of directors meeting, excuse me, I'm going to leave this Zoom thing open and I'm going to stop recording. Do we have a second to adjourn the meeting?
I moved to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Yep.